Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is Monday Fun Day, June 26th. This is the last week of June. Wow. Last week of June, June 30th is on Friday. There are a few things to talk about. Last week was a shorter week. This week so far, we're starting off with fairly minimal news. Realistically, we do have some news events throughout the remainder of the week. Like into the end of the week, we have Jerome Powell talking. Midweek, end of week, we have the PCE data, the inflation data that comes out on Friday, which is going to be very important because that's the main objective or the main data point that the Federal Reserve watches for inflation. We also have we also have uh, GDP, right? Final GDP quarter over quarter, right? It just came to me into the end of the week. So decent news coming out this week. We also have the end of the week, the end of the month, the end of the quarter, which means that rebalance is to set schedule. So we're going to see probably flows in and out of equities towards the end of the week, right? I think that I'm still on the front where we would expect a flow out of tech, realistically pulling into some of the other names like small caps and other sectors that haven't necessarily done super well this last quarter, like financials, for example. So I think that transition point into the end of the week is coming, and we could get some interesting volatility per se throughout the week. But I don't necessarily think that we're going to see too much fluidity in directionality, right? So that's I'm going to talk about that and talk about the trading plan for the coming day, and let's break down what we got. So oil demand, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC has projected that global demand will increase to 110 million barrels per day by 2045, with overall energy demand expected to rise by 23%. While the group acknowledges that renewable power will play a greater role in the world's energy mix going forward, it stressed that oil remains an integral part of the mix. So OPEC also raised concerns about underinvestment in the oil industry, saying that it could jeopardize existing energy systems and viability and result in energy chaos. So this contrasts with the IEA's recent forecast of global oil demand growth tapering off into the next few years. I think that oil has some good potential in the coming years, right? I think this sector has gone down fairly significantly in terms of pricing, right? Oil prices have dropped fairly significantly over the last few months. And I think that pickup in these names for the medium term into the next few years could be very opportunistic. I'm looking at long USO, for example, for myself. We also have IBM agreed to acquire software provider Aptio for $4.6 billion from Vista Equity Partners with available cash on hand. The deal will boost IBM's IT automation capabilities and drive significant synergies across growth areas. So again, I do like IBM for more of a dividend name, right? Aptio was taken private by Vista Equity Partners at $1.9 billion. Deal that faced several shareholder lawsuits at the time. IBM acquired 8 companies in 2022, the last being Octo, and is exploring the sale of its weather business. So, not too much in terms of news. We have today Dallas Fed manufacturing survey. We have results of the $42 billion 2-year note auction. Otherwise, we don't necessarily have too much news until we start seeing midweek and end of week where Jerome Powell comes onto the wire. We have the final GDP quarter over quarter. We also have the PCE on Friday. So I think the latter half of the week is going to be a little more interesting in terms of opportunity overall, right? I think movement realistically and in news, right? I think there's going to be more influence based on the later portion of the week in terms of that news. So today, my trading plan, right? We are still step laddering lower with decent volume on the sell side. Today, I'm going to be watching two main areas for pullbacks, right? 43.93 to 96 is a decent area to see some shorts, and 44.05 to '08. Now, I don't necessarily want prices to come back into the 44.05, '08 on the S&P 500 futures because that's going to be like the is going to be that what am I saying? That area has been tested so many times realistically. I don't want to see acceptance of price back into that region to give us the anticipated move back in towards the top of those distributions. So if we start accepting into distributions higher, theoretically, distribution theory does say we're going to get a pop through those into the upside. I do want to see some more exploration to the downside. I'm going to be watching 43.68 mainly to the downside today for some strong-handed buyers, but I do want to see that area get explored, and even lower than that, 43.40-ish, 44-ish. If we can get those target regions to start the week, I think that more downside does ensue until we can get maybe some more news that could shift things around. But I'm still wanting to see this rotation outside of tech to present a pullback and a larger dip buying opportunity for investors and traders alike. I think that things are getting a little top heavy here, and I'm not expecting big pullbacks, but I do want to see if that price exploration to the step ladder to the downside can open up before that next leg higher. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. That's what I'm going to be watching today with our team. Shorter update, not really that much to talk about. As the week progresses, there's going to be more and more to talk about, but fresh week. Feeling refreshed after a little vacation trip on the weekend, and I hope everyone has a good start to the week. We're going to be opening our trading room live very soon, and come check that out at community.tradeproacademy.com. We will reload and see what we get into the latter half of the week, but I do want to start off slow, smaller size, less trades, so on and so forth. So thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great start to the week, and we'll chat to you guys tomorrow. Thanks, guys.